Oh, Lexi and Dylan, you're back again. Let's keep going with Johnathan Livingston Seagul. So he's in heaven and learning new tricks. Let's see what he does today. One evening, the gulls that were not flying stood together on the sand, thinking. Johnathan took all his courage in hand and walked to the elder gull, who it was said was soon to be moving beyond this world. Chiang, he said a little nervously. The old seagull looked at him kindly. Yes, my son. Instead of enfeebled by age, the elder had been empowered by it. He could outfly any gull in the flock, and he had learned skills that the others were only gradually coming to know. Chiang, this world isn't heaven at all, is it? The elder smiled in the moonlight. You are learning again, Johnathan Seagull, he said. Well, what happens from here? Where are we going? Is there no such place as heaven? No, Johnathan, there is no such place. Heaven is not a place, and it is not a time. Heaven is being perfect. He was silent for a moment. You are a very fast flyer, aren't you? I enjoy speed, Johnathan said, taken aback, but proud that the elder had noticed. You will begin to touch heaven, Johnathan, in the moment that you touch perfect speed. And that isn't flying 1,000 miles an hour or 1,000,000 or flying at the speed of light, because any number is a limit, and perfection doesn't have limits. Perfect speed, my son, is being there. Without warning, Chiang vanished and appeared at the water's edge 50 feet away, all in the flick of an instant. Then he vanished again and stood in the same millisecond at Jonathan's shoulder. It's kind of fun, he said. Wow, that's fast. Alright, let's see what the next... Johnathan was dazzled. He forgot to ask about heaven. How do you do that? What does it feel like? How far can you go? You can go to any place and to any time that you wish to go, the elder said. I've gone everywhere and every when I can think of. He looked across the sea. It's strange. The gulls who scorn perfection for the sake of travel go nowhere, slowly. Those who put aside travel for the sake of perfection go anywhere, instantly. Remember, Johnathan, heaven isn't a place or a time, because place and time are so very meaningless. Heaven is... Can you teach me to fly like that? Johnathan Seagull trembled to conquer another unknown. Of course, if you wish to learn. I wish. When can we start? We could start now if you'd like. I want to learn to fly like that, Johnathan said, and a strange light glowed in his eyes. Tell me what to do. Chiang spoke slowly and watched the younger gull ever so carefully. To fly as fast as thought to anywhere that is, he said, you must begin by knowing that you have already arrived. The trick, according to Chiang, was for Johnathan to stop seeing himself as trapped inside a limited body that had a 42-inch wingspan and performance that could be plotted on a chart. The trick was to know that his true nature lived as a perfect, unwritten number everywhere at once across space and time. Johnathan kept at it fiercely, day after day, from before sunrise to past midnight, and for all his effort he moved not a feather width from his spot. Forget about faith, Chiang said it in time and again. You didn't need faith to fly, you needed to understand flying. This is just the same, now try again. Then one day, Johnathan, standing on the shore, closing his eyes, concentrating, all in a flash knew what Chiang had been telling him. Why, that's true. I am perfect, unlimited, gull. He felt a great shock of joy. Good, said Chiang. And there was a victory in his voice. Johnathan opened his eyes. He stood alone with the elder on a totally different seashore. Trees down to the water's edge. Twin yellow suns turning overhead. At last you've got the idea. But your control needs a little work. Johnathan was stunned. Where are we? Utterly unimpressed with the strange surroundings, the elder brushed the question aside. We're on some planet, obviously, with a green sky and a double star for a sun. Johnathan made a scream of delight. The first sound he'd made since he had left Earth. It works! It works! Well, of course it works, John, said Chiang. It always works when you know what you're doing. Now, about your control. And that's where we'll leave it for today, huh? We'll catch it up tomorrow and keep going with what Johnathan Living Seagull is learning from the elder. See you later, babies. I love you. Mwah! Kiss, kiss.